Hi everybody, and welcome to today's Bible portion. My name's Odie. What's yours? Anyhow, enough of that. Today we're going to be reading Genesis 26 and 27. Yeah. Genesis chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went unto Abimelech king of the Philistines unto Gerar. And Elohim appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land of which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I'll make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I'll give unto thee I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and all that thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, said he, the men of this place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech king of the Philistines looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the peoples might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in the land, and received in the same year 100-fold. And Elohim blessed him. And the men waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. And he had possessions of flocks, and possessions of herds, and great stores of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar. In the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Isaac, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. For he said, For now Elohim hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up thence to Beersheba. And Elohim appeared unto him in the same night, and said unto him, I am Adonai of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of Elohim, pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzzath, one of his friends, and Pichol, the chief of the captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that Elohim was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now blessed of Adonai. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughters of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Genesis chapter 27. And it came to pass, when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make my savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before Elohim, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goat. And I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Unto me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of all the kids of the goat upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou biddest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Elohim, thy Adonai, brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau's as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which Elohim hath blessed. Therefore Adonai gave thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Elohenu over thy brethren, and let my mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing, Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he had also made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison, and brought it to me? And I have eaten up of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Elohenu, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. With the corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy word shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent, and Jacob called her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury is turned away, until thy brother's anger turned away from thee, and he forget that thou hast done to him, which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? Well, that is tonight's read. Until next time, I hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello everybody, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 28 and 29. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence, of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And Adonai Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Adonai gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram, unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padanaram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Molath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in the place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of Adonai ascending and descending on it. And behold, Elohim stood above it, and said, I am Adonai Elohim of Abraham thy father, and Adonai of Isaac, the land whereat thou liest. To thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad, to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee, until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, Surely Elohim is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and he said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of Adonai, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of the city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If Adonai will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and remain to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Elohim be my Adonai. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Adonai's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Genesis chapter 29. And Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth, and thither there were all flocked together. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brothers, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard of the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass, that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Therefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel. And he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when Elohim saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely Elohim hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Because Elohim hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she said, Now this time will thy husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she said, Now I will praise Elohim. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. Yep, that's today's read. Until next time, I hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello all, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis chapter 30 and 31. And Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children. Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, I am in Adonai's stead. Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, Adonai hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And Leah saw that she had left bearing. She took Zilpah her maid, and gave her to Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, It is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband, and wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And Adonai hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, Adonai hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob a sixth son. And Leah said, Adonai hath endued me with it. Now will my son dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterward she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And Adonai remembered Rachel, and Adonai hearkened to her, and opened her womb, and she conceived and bare a son, and said, Adonai hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, Elohim shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place, and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee. And let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that Elohim hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appointed me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And Elohim hath blessed thee since my coming. And now, when shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come to my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And removed that day the goats he had that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hands of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and pilled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks, in the gutters, and the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, so that they could conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flock by themselves. and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. And when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and manservants, and camels, and asses. Sorry about all that noise. That was Odie eating. Genesis 31. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And Elohim said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy father, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel, and lay to the field unto his flock, and said with them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but Adonai of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times, but Adonai suffered him not to hurt me. And he said thus, The speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle shall bear speckled. And if he said thus, The ringstraked shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle of the ringstraked. Thus Adonai hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream. And behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraked, speckled, and grizzled. Here I am. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ringstraked, speckled,
and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the Adonai of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now rise, go thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which Adonai hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Adonai hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle, and all his cattle, and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unaware to Laban the Syrian, in that he told them not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And Adonai came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount. And Laban with his brother pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee
away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabreth, and with harp, and hast now not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But Adonai of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldst need be gone, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to
Laban, because I was afraid. For I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me.
With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then he went out to Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my Elohenu, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said unto Laban, Where is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff? What hast thou found in all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Have I been 20 years in thy house? I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and that thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except Adonai of my father, and Adonai of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. Adonai hath seen mine affliction, and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto thee, my daughters, or unto my children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, and I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap. And they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jegar Sahudutha. But Jacob called it Gilead. Okay. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead in Mitzpah. For he said, The Elohenu watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, Adonai is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap will be our witness, this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The Adonai of Abraham, and the Adonai of Nahor,
the Donai of their father judge betwixt us, and Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob offered sacrifice unto the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. Now, sorry for all the pausing. That thou, thy stuff is a little confusing to me. Yeah, one doggy, two doggy. Weird bearded thing. Well, yes, that's that weird bearded thing. Until next time.
You're weird bearded thing.
I hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow.
Hello all, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis chapter 32 and 33. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of Adonai met him. And Jacob saw them, and he said, "This is Adonai's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall ye speak unto my Elohim Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith this, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there unto now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and manservants and womanservants, and I have sent to tell my Elohim that I may find grace in thy sight." And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cameth to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him in the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, and the 2 bands, and said, If Esau come to one company, and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O Adonai of my father Abraham, and Adonai of my father Isaac, and Elohim, which saideth unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth, which thou hast shewed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, and from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother of the children. And thou sayest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered, for the multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand as a present for Esau his brother. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hands of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou? And whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? And thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my Elohim Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. And so he commanded the second and third, and all that followed the drove, saying, Honest manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me. And afterward I will see his face, and peradventure he will accept me. So went the president over before him, and himself lodged the night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh, he said. I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with Adonai and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob said to him, and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of that place Peniel, for I have seen Adonai face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, and the sinew that shrank. Sorry, waiting for it to load. Genesis chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph the hindermost. And he passed over them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said, Whose are those with thee? And he said, The children which Adonai hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I have met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Elohim. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of Adonai, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because Adonai hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, My Elohim knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds are young with me. And if men would overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Elohim, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according to the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Elohim undisturbed. And Esau said, Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Elohim. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob sojourned to Succoth. and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came unto Shalem, the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. And he came from the Padan Aram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 120 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it Elohim Israel. Well, until next time, I hope you guys have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello all, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis chapter 34 and 35. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite prince of the country, saw her, and took her, and lay with her, and defiled her, and his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that, and he defiled Dinah his daughter. That he had defiled Dinah his daughter. And his sons were with him as cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had done folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give him to wife. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us. And the land shall be before you, dwell and trade ye therein, and give your possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then we will give our daughters unto you. And we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem's Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man a sword, and came unto the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. And the sons of Jacob came unto the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. And they took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said unto Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sisters as with the harlot? Genesis chapter 35. And Adonai said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto Adonai, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. And Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, Put away the strange Adonais that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments, and let us arise, and go up to Bethel. And I will make there an altar unto Adonai, who answered me in the day of my distress, and with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange Adonais which were in the land, and all their earnings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of Adonai was upon the cities that were round about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called the place El Bethel, because there Adonai appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. And Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak. And the name of it was called Alon Bakuth. And Adonai appeared unto Jacob again, when he came out of Padanaram, and blessed him. And Adonai said unto him, Thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And Adonai said unto him, I am Adonai Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to thee, I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And Adonai went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where Adonai spake unto him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass, as her son was in departing, for she died, then she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed, and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the names of sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan Aram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Well, that's today's read. Until next time. Hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello all, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis 36 and 37. Genesis chapter 36. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives to the daughters of his wives of the daughters of Canaan. Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of the Zivian the Hivite, and Beshemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebahoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Beshemath bare Reuel. And Oholibamah bare Jush, and Jalam, and Korah. And these are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and his beasts, and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together. And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelled Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zophah, Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. And these were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Reuel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. And these were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zivian, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jush, Jalam, and Korah. And these were the dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau: Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, and Duke Kenaz, and Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. And these are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah. And these were the sons of Reuel, Esau. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son: Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shema, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemath's wife, Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horites, and the inhabitant of the land: Latan, Shobal, Zibian, and Anna, and Dishon, and Ezer, and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Latan were Hori and Hemam. and Latan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvan, and Manahath, and Abel, and Zophel, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anna. And this was that Anna that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anna were these: Dishan and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. And these are the children of Dishan: Hemdan, Eshben, Ithran, and Charan. The children of Ezer are these: Belhan, Zava, and Akan, or Achan. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. The children of Dishan are these: Uz and Aran. These are the dukes that came of the Horites: Duke Latan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, and Duke Anna. Duke Dishan, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan, Duke Dishan, and Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori, among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabath. And Bela died, and Jacob the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham of the land of Temani reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Shamlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pa. And his wife's name was Mehetebel, the daughter of Metrid, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of dukes that came of Esau according to their families after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jethath, Duke Aholibamah, Duke Ella, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Timon, Duke Mizbar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Aram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Ooh, some of those names are doozies. Genesis 37. Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheep arose, and it stood upright, and behold, your sheep stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheep. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and he told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him. And his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to them, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, and their camels bearing spicery, and balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then they were passed by Midianites and merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph to Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and he said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dripped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat, and an evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth on his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, and he said, For I will go down into the grave unto him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar,
an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. Well, that's today's read. Until next time, I hope you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow.
Hello all and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name Er. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for Er his son, whose name was Tamar. And Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Elohim, and Elohim slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilt it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased Elohim, before he slew him also. Wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah unto Tamar his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath. He and his wife Hira the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which is by the way of Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was gone, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let us come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot? She was opened by the wayside. And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, am I child? And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet, the bracelets, and the staff? And Judah acknowledged them, and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. Shelah. And he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterwards came out his brother, that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Genesis chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And Elohim was with him. Was with Joseph. And he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Elohim was with him, and that Elohim made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him. And he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass, from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Elohim blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of Elohim was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he had to eat. And Joseph was a goodly person, and well favored. And it came to pass after these things, that his master's wife cast her eye upon Joseph. And she said, Lie with me. But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath into my hand. To my hand. There is none greater in this house than I. Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. And then, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Adonai? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time, that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand, and fled, and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled, and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her, until his Elohim came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garments with me, and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But Elohim was with Joseph, and shewed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Elohim was with him. And that which he did, Elohim made it to prosper. Well, that's today's Bible portion. Until next time, I hope everybody has a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello everybody and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offered their Elohim, the king of Egypt. Offended. Their Elohim, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, and against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, where the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in the ward. In the ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. The butler and the baker of the king of Egypt were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Elohim's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And I said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to Adonai? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and the blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner, when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. In the uppermost basket there was of all the manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hands, but he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. Genesis chapter 41. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, and ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake to the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me inward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was with us a young man, an Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. And Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. Adonai shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean flesh, such as I had never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the keen and ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as at the beginning. So I woke, and I saw my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, and one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. Adonai hath shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good years and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. The 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty years blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what Adonai is about to do. He sheweth unto Pharaoh, Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be grievous. And for that dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it is because the thing is established by Adonai, and Adonai will surely bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the spirit of Adonai is. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as Adonai hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him, Bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah. And he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt, and Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which was in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For Adonai, said he, hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second was called Ephraim, for Adonai hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he hath saith to you do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all the lands. Well, that is today's read. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Do you want to say bye? Bye. Hello everybody, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis chapter 42 and 43. Genesis chapter 42. And when Jacob saw that there was no corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon the other? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob, sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befallen. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them. but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies. To see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay. Sorry. Nay, my Elohim, but to buy food are thy servants come. And we are the one man's son, we are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it, that I spake unto you, saying, You are spies. Hereby ye shall prove. By the life of Pharaohs ye shall not come forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you. Or else, by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do, and live, for I fear Adonai. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And I said to one another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, and what we saw, the anguish of his soul, when he besought us. And we would not hear, therefore, Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. And he turned himself about from them, and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took them from Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provisions for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender, in the end he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them. And they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that Adonai hath done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Elohim of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men. We are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father, one is not. And the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Elohim of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, and that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Mayhap ye bereaved of my children? Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things that are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Chapter 43. Still loading. Sorry about the messy hair. I just got back. So Genesis chapter 43. And the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, then we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, This man asked us straitly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. On my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And her father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land and your vessels, and carry down the man of presents, a little balm, and a little honey, spices, myrrh, nuts, and almonds. And take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And Adonai Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And men took that present, and took double money in their hand. And Benjamin and rose up, and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with him, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house, and they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen in our asses? And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, or money in full weight. And we had brought it again in our hand, and other money that we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you, fear not, your Adonai. And the Adonai of your father hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them, and the man brought them And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet. And he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon. For they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom ye spake? Is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads, and made obeisance, and lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, It is your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me. And he said, Adonai be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. And he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber, and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his birthright. And the men marveled at one at another. And he took and sent masses unto them from before him, but sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs, and they drank and were merry with him. Well, that's tonight's read. Until next time, hope everybody has a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's Bible portion. I'm going to be reading from something called the Cepher. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. It has the Hebrew names, as well as some of the redacted words that you will not find in any other Bible, such as the first and the last, or Nereth. Okay, well, I'm going to be starting Genesis chapter 44 and 45. And he commanded the first and the last of the stewards of his house, saying, Fill the first and the last of the man's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack and in his sack's mouth, and put the first and the last of my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and the first and the last his grain money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And that when they were gone out of first and the last the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men. And when you do overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it, in which my Lord drinks, and whereby indeed he divines? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spoke unto them first and last these same words. And they said unto him, Wherefore say my Lord these words? Far be it that your servants should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths we brought again unto you out of the land of Canaan. How then shall we steal out of your Lord's house silver or gold, with whomsoever of your servants it shall be found? Both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, Now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. And when they speedily took down every man from the first to the last his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack, and he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. And they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Yehuda and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground, and Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Know ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Yehuda said, What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? Elohim has found out that the first and the last the iniquity of your servants. Behold, we are Lord's servants, both we and he also, with whom the cup is found. And he said, Far be it that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. And when Yehuda came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let your servant, I pray you, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not your anger burn against your servant. For you are even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked the first and the last of his servants, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead. And he is alone and is left of his mother, and his father loves him. And you said unto your servants, Bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, The lad cannot leave the first and last his father, for if he should leave the first and last his father would die. And you said unto your servants, Except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more. And it came to pass, when we came up unto your servant, my father, we told him the first and last the words of my Lord. And our father said, Go again and buy us little food. And we said, We cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. And your servants, my father, said unto us, Ye know that my woman bore me 2 sons. One went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces. And I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down the first and the last my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol. Now therefore, when I come to your servants, my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he sees that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And your servant shall bring down the first and the last gray hairs of your servant our father with sorrow to Sheol. For your servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto you, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray you, let your servant abide, and said of the lad, a bondman to my Lord. And let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to the first and last my father, and the lad not be with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them that stood by him, and he cried, because every man to go out from me, and there stood no man with him. While Joseph made himself known unto his brethren, and he wept aloud in the Mishrim, and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Does my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold to Mizraim. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For Elohim did not send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years has the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but Elohim. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord over all his house, and ruler throughout all the land of Mizraim. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus says your son Joseph, Elohim has made me lord of all Mizraim. Come down unto me, tarry not, and you shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near unto me, you and your children, and your children's children, and your flocks, and your herds, and all that you have. And there will I nourish you, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty. And behold, your eyes, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that is my mouth that speaks unto you, and ye shall tell my father of the first and last of all my glory in Mizraim, and the first and last of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck, and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren, and wept upon them, and after that his brethren talked with him, and the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto your brethren, This do ye, Bade the first and last of your beasts, and go. Get you unto the land of Canaan, and take the first and last of your father, and the first and last of your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the first and last, the good of the land of Mizraim, and you shall eat of the first and last of the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, this do ye. Take your wagons out of the land of Mizraim, for your little ones, and for your women, and bring the first and last of your father. And come also, regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Mizraim is yours. And the children of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons, according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provisions for the way. To all of them he gave each man's changes of raiment. But to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with good things of Mizraim, and 10 she-laden asses laden with grain, bread, and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away. And they departed, and he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Mizraim, and came into the land of Canaan, unto Yaakov their father, and told them, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Mizraim. And Yaakov's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him the first and last of all the words of Joseph. When he had said unto them, and when he saw the first and last, the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the ruach of Yaakov their father revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. I know that was a little bit different. The first and the last was taken out of a lot of Bibles, but this is the this has the words and the meanings, and also some Hebrew, and some books that are left out of any of the Bibles, including the Catholic Bibles. So I decided that instead of reading King James, I'm going to read the Cepher. But for those of you who understand Hebrew and changed or redacted during the Dark Ages, well, this one has it all, so I do recommend this Bible. Well, until next time. Oh, one more thing. I asked you a question in the last video, and I wish for you guys to post it. Oh, here it is, Cepher. It's got Hebrew in it and all kinds of good things. Anyways, I posted in the last video a question because some of the words were changed to see, but actually it wasn't even on purpose. It was me making a mistake. But when I posted it to Facebook, I asked some of you to tell me which words were changed, and those people that I asked know Hebrew, so post it at the bottom of this video and I will tell you if you're right or wrong, because I have the Bible that has it in there. Well, until next time, I hope you all have a great night, and fantastic tomorrow! Bye-bye! Bye! Show Bubbles. And there's Bubbles. There he is, the big boy. Well, toodles! Hello and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today's Bible portion is going to be Genesis 46 and 47. Then Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto Elohim of his father Yishak. And Elohim spoke unto Israel in the visions of mighty and said, Yochaf, Yochaf. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am Elohim, the Elohim of your father. Fear not, go down into Mishraim, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you into Mishraim, and I'll also surely bring you up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon your eyes. Say. And Yaakov rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried the first and last of Yochaf their father, and the first and last of their little ones, and the first and last of their women, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took the first and last of their cattle, and the first and last of their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Mishraim Yochab, and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and his seed brought he with him into Mishraim. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Mishraim: Yaakov and his sons Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Shach and Pula and Cheshron and Carmi. And the sons of Shimon, Gimiel and Yamin, Ohad and Yakin and Soshai and Shaul. And the sons of Kenan, Anian, woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Koh, Merari. And the sons of Yehuda, Onan, Shalach, Peret, Zerah.
But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Peretz were Cheshron and Shamu. And the sons of Yissachar, Tola, Pul, Yav, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, Elon, Yachlel. These be the sons of Le, which were born unto Jacob in Padan, Aram.
the first and last with his daughter, Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Siphon, Shagi, Shuni, Itzban, Arai, and Erodai, and Arieli. And the sons of Asher, Yimnah, Yishvi, Beriah, Sarach, their sister, and the sons of Beriah, Cepher, Malachiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter. These she bore the first and last unto Jochab, even 16 souls, the sons of Rachel, Jochab's woman, Yosef and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Mishraim were born the first and last of Manasseh, and the first and last of Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ishi, Rosh, Mipim, and Chupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel which were born to Jochab. All the souls of 14, and the sons of Dan, Trushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Yatzel, and Guni, and Yetzer, and Shalim. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bore these, the first and last, unto Jochab. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jochab into Mishraim, which came out of his loins, besides Jochab's sons, women's, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Mishraim, were 2 souls, and the souls of the house of Jochab, which came into Mishraim, were 70. And he sent the first and the last, Yehuda, before him unto El Yosef, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen, and Yosef made ready his chariots, and went up to meet the first and last of Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto El Yosef, Now let me die, since I have seen the first and the last of your face, because you are yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren in my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me, and then the men are shepherds, for their trade has been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and you shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Your servant's trade has been about cattle, for our youth even unto now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Mishraim. Genesis 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, and said, My father, and my brethren, and their flocks, and their herds, and all that they have, are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, What is your occupation? And I said unto Pharaoh, Your servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land are we, for your servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray you, let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto El Yosef, saying, Your father and your brethren Excuse me. Are come unto you, the land of Mizraim is before you, and the best of the land make the first and last of your father and the first and last of brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if you know any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in the first and last of Yochav his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Yochav blessed Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said unto Yochav, how old are you? And Yochav said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of years of my life been, and have not attained the first and last unto the days of the years of my life of my fathers, and the days of their pilgrimage. And Yochav blessed the first and last of Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed the first and last of his father and the first and last of his brethren, and gave them possession in the land of Mizraim, and the best of the land, and the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished the first and last of his father and the first and last of his brethren, and the first and last of his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Mizraim and all the land, and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up the first and last of all the money that was found in the land of Mizraim and the land of Canaan, for grain which they had bought. And Joseph brought the first and last money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Mizraim and in the land of Canaan, all the Mizraim came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For the money fails. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I'll give for your cattle if money fail. And they brought the first and last of their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for flocks, and for cattle, and of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And that year ended, they said unto him in the second year, and said unto him, we will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also has our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of the Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and the first and last of our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed, that we may live and not die, that the land may not be desolate. The land be not desolate. And Joseph brought the first and last of all the land, bought all the first and last of all the land of Mizraim for Pharaoh. For the Mizraim sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's, and the first and last. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from the other end of the borders of Mizraim, even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat the first and last of their portion, which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not the first and last of their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day the first and last of your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the first and last of the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own. For seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, you have saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of the Lord. The sight of my Lord. And we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Mizraim unto this day, that Pharaoh should have a 5th part, except the lands of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Mizraim, in this country of Goshen. And they had possession therein, and grew, and multiplied exceedingly. And Yaakov lived in the land of Mishraim 17 years. So the whole age of Yaakov was 147 years. And the time drew near that Yisrael must die, and he called his son Yosef, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in your sight, put, I pray you, your hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray you, in Mishraim, but I will lie with my fathers, and you shall carry me out of Mishraim, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as you have said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he swore unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. Well, that is today's Bible portion. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow. Hello all, and welcome to today's Bible portion. Today we're going to be reading chapter 48, 49, and 50 of Berei Sha'ith, or Genesis. 48. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, Behold, your father is sick. And he took with him the first and last of his 2 sons, the first and last of Manasseh, and the first and last of Ephraim. And one told Yaakov, and said, Behold, your son Joseph comes unto you. And Israel strengthened himself, and sat upon the bed. And Yaakov said unto Yosef, El Shaddai appear unto me at Luz, in the land of Canaan, and bless me, and said unto me, Behold, I will make you fruitful, and multiply you, and I will make of you a multitude of people, and will give the first and last of this land to your seed after you, for an everlasting possession. And now your 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto you in the land of Mishraim, before I came unto you into Mishraim, are mine, as Reuben and Shimon. They shall be mine, and your issue, which you beget after them, shall be yours, and shall be called the name of their brethren in the inheritance. As for me, when I come from Padam Aram, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way. Yet there was but a little way to come into Ephrathah. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrathah, the same as Beit Lechem. And Israel, behold, Joseph's first and last sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom Elohim has given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray you, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see your face, and lo, Elohim has showed me also the first and last of your seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took the first and last of them both, and the first and last of Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and the first and last of Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and the first and last of the left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding the first and last of his hand wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed the first Joseph, and said, Elohim, before whom my fathers Abraham Yitzchak did walk, the Elohim which fed me all my life long unto this day. The angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the first and last, the lads. And let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Yitzchak. And let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put your right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall be a multitude of nations, and he shall bless them. And he blessed them that day, saying, In you shall Yisrael bless, saying, Elohim, make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh, and Yisrael said unto Elioseph, Behold, I die, but Elohim shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to you one portion above your brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Emori, with my sword and with my bow. Chapter 49. And Yaakov called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you the first and last, that which you shall befall in the last days to get. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Yaakov, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, and my excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then defiled it. He went up to my couch. Shimon and Levi are brethren, and instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not into their secret, unto their assembly, my honor. Be not united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov, and scatter them in Israel. Yehuda, you are he whom brethren shall praise. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Yehuda is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you are gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a Torah giver from between his feet shall Shiloh. Come, unto him shall the gathering of the people be, binding his foal into the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in the wine, his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Revulun shall dwell in the land, at the haven of the seas. He shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Sidon. Yissachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the first and last land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear and become a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that bites the horse's heels, so that his rider shall fall backwards. And I have waited for you, Yeshua, O Yahuwah. Gad, the troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He gives goodly words. Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him, but his bow abode in strength. And the arms of his hands were made strong by the hand of the mighty Elohim of Yaakov. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, even by the Elohim of your father. Who shall help you? And first and last, by El Shaddai, who shall bless you with the blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies under, blessings of the breast of the womb, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors. Unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills they shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is it, that their father spoke unto them, and blessed them. Everyone according to his blessing he blessed them, and he charged them, and he said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron, in the Chitti. In the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought. The first and last with the field of Ephraim and the Chitti, for a possession of a burying place. There they shall bury the first and last Abraham, and the first and last Sarah's woman, and they buried the first and last Yitzchak, and the first and last Rivkah, his woman. And there I buried the first and last Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Cheth. And when Yaakov had made an end of commanding the first and last his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up his rach, and was gathered unto his people. And chapter 50. And Joseph fell upon his father's face, and he wept upon him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded the first and last of servants, and the first and last of physicians to embalm him. To embalm the first and last his father. And the physicians embalmed the first and last Yisrael. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Mishraim mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spoke unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die in my grave, which I have dug for me in the land of Canaan. There shall you bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray you, and bury the first and last, my father. And I will come again. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury the first and last, your father, according as he had made you swear. And Joseph went up to bury the first and last his father. And with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Mitzrayim, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren, and all his father's house, only their little ones, and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen, and there they went up with him, both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan. And there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. When the inhabitants of the land of Canaanim saw the first and last, the mourning, and the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Mishraim, wherefore the name of it was called Evel Mishraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he had commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought the first last with the field for a possession of a bearing place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Mitzrayim, he said, and his brethren, and all that went with him to bury the first last, his father. After he had buried his father, and when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us first and last all the evil which we did unto him. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Your father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray you now, the transgressions of your brethren, and their sin, for they did unto you evil. And now we pray you, forgive the transgressions of the servants of the Elohim of your father. And Joseph wept when they spoke unto him. And his brethren also went down and fell down before his face, and they said, Behold, we are your servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for I am in the place of Elohim. For am I in the place of Elohim. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but Elohim meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore, fear ye not. I will nourish you in the first and the last of your little ones. He comforted them, and spoke kindly unto them. And Joseph dwelt in Mitzrayim, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation, the children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Elohim will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he swore to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov. And Joseph took an oath of the first and last, the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up the first and last, my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him. And he was put in a coffin in Mitzrayim. Well, until next time, I hope you all have a great night, and a fantastic tomorrow.